Okay. All right, everybody. Well, it is great to be here. Great to see you all. A lot of you I know in person. A lot of you I know by name. So just want to, on behalf of all of us, just thank you for taking the time to join us. We appreciate your love and care for the mission of the Patch and the families that we serve, and we hope that you and all your loved ones are staying healthy in the midst of this pandemic. And actually, today is my 4-month anniversary. And I can honestly say that it's been quite an experience. But truly, I feel blessed to be here and am fortunate to be part of such an amazing staff and to work with an outstanding board of directors. And there's a real rich history of committed board members that I knew about and I'm learning more about. And I know that those on this Zoom call would have supported this organization with the same exact quality that we are now currently experiencing. So I want to quickly walk you through our response to COVID-19 and then turn things over to our talented family development team. So on March 16th, we closed daily programming very reluctantly at the Patch. And that was the first time apparently since the mid-1970s. And then on March the 26th, we moved all of our staff to telework. And we have been doing that ever since, doing a lot of these kind of meetings, that is for sure. We're all getting our chops with Zoom quite a bit. The priorities in the pandemic for us at the Patch was really to retain all of our staff members. And we could do that, and that's unusual with a lot of nonprofits, and you may know that as well. Thanks to our secure financial footing, thanks to Tracy and Jennifer, and a lot of you, our strong board leaderships over the years. We also wanted to continue with programming to Patch members and families. And we've done this in a couple different ways. We have turned program staff into case management workers, and each team member was assigned 12 different families by their connection with the kids, Patch kids that they know, Patch members that they know. And they make weekly calls to spend time with our Patch members. And they also make these weekly calls to connect families with resources to see how they're doing, to make sure really that they know that they're not alone. And also to be able to make referrals when necessary to our family development department. And so the other way we've done to continue our programming is really ramped up our family development department. And as Doug and Calvin will tell you, we've increased the family caseload, we've increased the basic needs being met. The food pantry giving is truly at historic levels. And you're gonna hear more from Reverend Dr. Calvin Holloway and Mr. Doug Home, are really our essential workers and some of our absolute heroes at the Patch. And before you do hear from them, I wanna share just a quick story about another hero, supporter extraordinaire, Walt Kuno. And Walt's a member of the Cana Sunday School class at Christ Church United Methodist. And Walt shared an email from Jennifer, I think, actually, about the need for our food pantry, the need of our food pantry. And his class responded with incredible generosity. People brought food and hygiene items here or to the Patch. Others sent generous financial donations. And so sometimes really all it takes is just to share the need with others in your network. And you all know this, you all are ambassadors as well to the work of the Patch. So again, thank you for being here. And I think Jennifer may be emceeing, otherwise we'll pass it over to Calvin and Doug.
Go ahead, Calvin and Doug.
All right, can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna let Calvin kick off. If we're gonna try this, we did a short little PowerPoint for y'all.
And you're going to share the PowerPoint, the slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that it, Calvin?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Our current living circumstances of Patch parents We estimate that about 30 to 40% of the parents are unemployed. Data collected by our program staff show that 63% of those families have at least one adult who is still working. However, the hours have been cut for some of those adults. Most, if not all, are behind on paying their rent or utilities. And many of our parents are struggling with helping their children with NTI, non-traditional instruction. So some families never received a Chromebook, or they only received one Chromebook, and so they have to share it with multiple children, more than one child. We're getting more requests from parents who are asking for help with questions that they have with the school, with trying to help their children. And so the educational opportunity staff members have been stepping in and stepping up and helping with that. COVID-19 is starting to impact several of our families who are in quarantine at this point right now. So.
Okay. And you all can see the slides okay, right? Okay. Food pantry, of course, that's been just off the charts since March. This is adding March and April numbers together. Food pantry assistance has increased by 325%. If you look at April compared to our average, it's even higher. Food donations have increased dramatically. I just got another email from our friends at Melbourne Heights Baptist Church yesterday. They have another load for me to pick up on Monday. And whatever we don't get through donations, we participate. Calvin gets on the Dare to Care co-op website, and we can buy food from them at cost, at a much reduced cost. You can see the statistics there. March was 43 families, 218 bags of groceries. April, and I double checked this, but was 50 families, 434 bags of groceries. Our average number of people that we usually help a month is around 10 or 11 families a month. So going to 43 and 50 was quite large. This kind of puts it, I'm hoping that's the top of the tsunami wave for us right now. But this shows you what we normally do in a given year and what it's been the last 2 months. And then this is a really wild little chart. You can see for, and I'm sorry, those numbers aren't correct. I had goofed this up this morning apparently, but 2020 numbers are higher than 90. That should be higher, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry, that's a number of requests. So we've had 90 requests for food assistance. And you can see last year it was 123 that we helped. So we're going to surpass anything we've ever done by far this year when it comes to food pantry requests.
Our patch families can be divided up into 3 different groups. People who are still working but have increased stress due to working in a stressful job environment. They're essential workers, so or they need help with their kids. They're dealing with the school, not used to working with the Chromebooks as well. And then we have parents who've been laid off, many who are still waiting on their unemployment or stimulus checks. This group has not only not been able to pay much of their bills and their rents and utilities, but being laid off. They've got all kinds of things that they're dealing with right now. And then we got a group of parents who were struggling even before the COVID-19 pandemic. And that group is made up of parents who are receiving Social Security, disability, or they were not working before this pandemic started. So no work, they're not eligible for unemployment. So those are the 3 groups that we're basically working with at this time.
Calvin, while we're paused here, could you go ahead and tell them, since Dana falls in that second group, would you tell them about Dana and her situation?
Dana is someone that we've been working with. She was in a part of our case management program, and she just purchased a house and just got a new job. And then she found out a few weeks ago that she had been laid off. And so she's one of those who was working and was doing well, but now because of this pandemic, it's kind of set her way back. And so that's what she's dealing with right now. Our current and greatest need for our parents and our families is masks for adults, rent and utility assistance. That's going up. And of course, the food pantry assistance, which we've been getting a lot of help and a lot of food donated. And we really appreciate that.
And then Calvin and I, we want to make just a few predictions for the future. And then I have 2 other slides, and then I think Jennifer wants us to be open for questions. But just to give you a heads up of what's coming up for our families. Evictions right now are on hold. The Kentucky Supreme Court put a hold on evictions through at least July 1st. I don't know if that'll be extended, but as of just this week when I checked the website, it's July 1st. LG&E has suspended shutoffs, but that's only through June 1st. That's the current date on their website. I scoured Louisville Water's website. There is no date there. It just says that they've suspended shutoffs, but they'll probably go along with LG&E. If school does go back in session like normal in August, and that's a big maybe, but if they do, there will be a very big need for school supplies and backpacks this year. I think normally we help between 100 and 125 kiddos a year with school supplies, so we'll see bigger numbers this year. Unemployment rates for our folks are going to remain high, and I'll show you a couple charts about this in a minute. Those of you all that have heard, I just like to remind folks that unemployment rates for Blacks or African Americans are historically twice that of whites. So when you see the unemployment numbers come out on Friday for the national unemployment, you can double that for our clients is probably what it will be. The St. Louis Fed also has discovered, and yes, I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to economics, but during the past 2 recessions, unemployment for whites has declined faster than it did for Blacks or African Americans. We saw this ourselves. Our highest numbers ever for food pantry and financial assistance were 2013, which was, a year or 2 after the recession ended for most people, but for our folks, it still was coming down. And then Calvin made a very good point when he and I were preparing for this. He reminded me that, Doug, some of our clients will not have jobs to go back to, and we'll have to find new employment. So we'll be busy also helping folks with job searches. Just a couple charts. I got this from Metro Louisville Housing Commission, Metropolitan Housing Commission. Just to let you know, this is a shutoff chart showing where shutoffs typically happen in our city. All those, I'm horrible with colors, folks, but that to me looks like purple. That's our service area. So you can see how many disconnects that there usually are in a 1 or 2 year time period. That will be astronomical in the next few months. This other chart just illustrates what I was talking about with the bottom line is unemployment rate going back to the 60s for white folks. The green line is for African Americans, and you can see it follows right in sync. It's been like this ever since they started studying this, and there's a variety of reasons for it. But I just wanted to illustrate this. All these charts, if you're interested in this stuff, is on the St. Louis Fed's Federal Reserve's website. And Jennifer, that's all we had. I think you also asked us to talk about food donations. On the website is the best way to get a lot of that information. You can call Eli Levine. His phone number is on the website. Or you can also feel free to call Calvin or I or email us, and we'll help you get your donations down to us safely. Calvin, did you want to add anything else?
I think that pretty much covers it.
Hey, Calvin and Doug, can you all talk a little bit about, although our families aren't being evicted, what they are experiencing with landlords?
Well, I can just speak the client or two that I've talked to. I mean, some of the landlords are being very kind and understanding, but then you've got others like our one client had a landlord who's in Minnesota, and the guy had the nerve to tell our client he was going to send somebody to her home on that Friday and pick up the key, and he wanted her out. And she knew her rights, and she knew that, you know, they'd put a stop on eviction. But there are unfortunately some landlords that are kind of bullying our clients. So one of the other things Calvin and I will be doing, and the rest of the staff, is because legal aid is gearing up for this, they're getting a lot of lawyers recruited and trained in eviction law. And so we'll unfortunately probably have to get a lot of our clients, you know, hooked up with legal aid over the next few months.
They're also adding on with some of our clients late fees. So even though they're not being evicted, they're still getting behind, and they've got these late fees that are tacked on to their rents.
Yeah.
All right, we're opening it up for questions. Does anybody have a question for Calvin or Doug or Corey? Janet?
I'm still muted.
There you go.
I'm having another drop off this afternoon. I may have 50 or so here by the end of the day. Can I bring them to you tomorrow?
Masks. She's talking about masks, Doug.
Yeah.
Face masks.
Janet, I believe that Eli will be there tomorrow. I think usually 9 to 1 are his hours, maybe on Friday.
Right.
Tomorrow's
On Friday.
Thursday.
And I'll be at the patch tomorrow.
Sorry.
Sorry, Will.
Yes, if you want to, do you have my mobile?
I think so, but you better give it to me, Corey.
Okay, yeah, it's real quick. It's 336 area code
Uh-huh.
414-1008.
1008.
I'm normally there.
Correct.
Okay.
And I'm normally there on Thursdays, but I've got to attend a funeral. That's why I won't be there this Thursday. So
Okay. I'll get together some masks this afternoon.
Okay, great.
appreciate it.
I've
I have a
got,
question.
Lisa?
I've got two questions. The first one is, and Corey, this is probably your question. Do we have a general idea of when the patch may be able to open, and you know what that criteria looks like? And then the second question is with respect to educating patch parents on how they can best handle landlord scenarios. Do we have a meeting scheduled, or will Calvin and Doug and any other staff members meet with an attorney or attorneys to kind of ramp up our knowledge so that we can then share that with our clients? Do we have plans to do that?
Okay. Doug, would you and Calvin like to answer we'll go in reverse order.
Sure, that's fine.
And Doug, do you guys want to, Calvin, you guys want to talk about the patch parents?
Lisa, probably what we'll do is the Kentucky Justice website is adding more and more links and information all the time. So Calvin and we've also this past week we sent out a link to all the program staff. We asked them to let everyone on their contact list know. They've done really neat things on the Kentucky Justice website. They have a letter that people can fill out that's pre-written to send to their landlord, and they can send it to landlord from the website saying, you know, hey, look, I'm having problems paying my rent. I wanted to let you know I'm not ducking you, blah, blah, blah. And so we're getting the word out through our program staff, and we'll be ramping that up even more.
Right.
I doubt legal aid would have the time to talk to Calvin and I, but they'll be putting a lot of stuff on their website. They've even, I didn't see it. I think it may have loaded either today or last Wednesday, but they received questions from the whole community about stimulus, unemployment, landlord issues, and they put that all together and posted a video about it. It was either last Wednesday or today. I haven't had a chance to watch it, in all honesty. But we'll be learning more about that and whatnot. I don't know if we have any lawyers on the board that have interests or knowledge in this, but we'll be, maybe finding out. So.
Right.
Great. That's
And-
terrific.
And we have had speakers to come to our meetings in the past. But right now, we're still trying to see when we will open up again. And that might be a possibility to have a meeting when we open up with our Patch parents and have someone come and talk to them.
Yeah.
But we're gathering information.
And it wouldn't surprise me, Lisa, if they maybe schedule a webinar. We'll have to be checking the website. We were scheduled to do a will clinic with them this spring, and then the world fell apart, and that all got canceled. And now they're in a completely different frame of mind. So, yeah, I pray that landlords will be nice, but we have to hope for the best, but plan for the worst.
It sounds like we're being proactive. That's terrific. Thank you.
Try.
Calvin and Doug, do you think our families would be, a Zoom with them would be reasonable, or do you think that's kind of?
I think we could try it. Megan would know more about how many have access, to the technology.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we've toyed with that.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll look at that. And I'll tell you too, I just had a conversation yesterday with Mitch Rue, and there is a Christian legal aid organization that he's connected with, and that I haven't told either Doug or Calvin about this, but we're going to try to follow up and see if there's an avenue there that they might be able to lend some assistance to on that end. And then in terms of opening, well, we are definitely looking at reopening, and I guess there's a lot of different aspects of that in terms of employee opening, and then obviously our Patch members and families reopening. So that's so on the first end, on the employee side of it, we've been charting very closely the governor's Healthy at Work initiative. And so we've been following along with a lot of there's an online application for businesses that details particular milestones that you need to reach in order to be able to open. And May the 11th, on the board, the board has created a COVID response team in addition to an internal senior management team at the Patch that we've been talking about this for a good bit of time. And so we are, May the 11th is a date where office work. We're kind of three different things. We're we're essential workers, we're a community center, and we're also an office kind of business. And so we are going to open to employees at a very reduced rate. A lot of folks are going to continue to telework. That's our first option. But for those who come in occasionally, and very occasionally, we have a variety of different things in place. Mask required, still closed, mainly closed to the public, closing down our common areas, just doing a lot of different things in place to make sure that we're being really cautious and safety conscious. And when we get to phase 2, using the governor's language, when it appears that community centers will open, that we don't know when that will occur, but we'll have a lot of planning to do that as well. So we're giving it a lot of attention, and but we're trying to be very cautious about it all.
And thanks to Janet, who is on this call, for making masks for all of our staff members. Our folks have gotten those and have been really, really pleased. So when we do go back to work, we're ready to be back in the office. We are protected thanks to her.
It's about 20 people from Highland Press have been making those.
Those are awesome.
Doug and Calvin, and this is Chris. I had a question for you. So from the data showing the increased assistance, it looked to me like that was all for the existing families that we serve and the clients, or I may have missed this. Is there also an increase of client families that have been pressed to the point of looking for new community resources? And if so, do we expect any of that growth to continue into reopening?
It was kind of going in and out. I didn't get the first question. Did you get it all, Doug?
Chris, I think what you're getting to, we're mainly in family development. We're focused on Cabbage Patch families first. We do get calls from community folks. We don't offer them financial assistance, but Calvin always reminds me, we do the Wayne Oates thing, we're ministers of introduction. And so we always try to, if people ask and we're not able to help, we always try to give them a couple phone numbers or other agencies that they can call and talk to. But yeah, we're getting more requests. I mean, people are even emailing Corey just out of the blue. We have no connection with some of these folks, and he'll say, hey, do you know who this person is? And we usually don't, but we always respond to them and give them some other ideas.
Yeah, thank you.
We have been getting an increase though, as far as the families. A lot of these are new families, even though their kids have been involved in the Cabbage Patch, they haven't needed assistance from us, even though the recreation department has been working with their kids. So that number has really increased for Doug and I. Meeting.
You've had like 49 referrals of families that you've never connected with, right?
Well, we use a Google tracking sheet, and it's up over. We've had up over 60, 70 different referrals for help. So it is crazy. We're meeting people that we've never met before. They've never needed us. Even at Christmas time, they did fine. But now, they were a housekeeper that were, Dawn was, working in housekeeping, doing very well. And then she got laid off and no idea when she'll go back. And we've been able to help her out with food and LG&E assistance. So we're hearing more and more stories like that.
Greg, you had a question?
Yeah, quick question. Do you think that LG&E and the water company are going to extend the turnoff date? That's very concerning, that June 1st. I mean, that's right around the corner. Any read on that? No.
I haven't heard. I know a lot of our families are kind of thinking that way. They're kind of panicking about, my bill is still growing. And so we're dealing with that right now. But as far as it being extended, I haven't heard anything so far.
And I haven't either. And it's good and bad. It'd be nice if they extended it, but then that means that the balances grow and grow and grow and get larger and larger. We're helping the parents, we give financial assistance. We're helping them try to keep their bills as low as possible. But especially, I don't know if the government's not, if they do another stimulus, that'll really help our clients. If they don't, then that'll be a tough spot, because a lot of our clients probably won't go back to work, till the fall or late fall. Especially, we have several clients that work in hotels, and I with all the conventions being canceled, I just don't know when they'll go back to work.
Mike Drake, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just checked while we were talking. I checked with I'm with LG&E, and I just checked with our people on that. Hopefully I'll have some kind of answer later in the day. I don't know if I'll be able to answer it, but I can tell you it's being actively discussed within LG&E as far as shutoffs.
Okay.
Thank you.
We should also mention that Calvin and I have been referring folks to the One Louisville COVID-19 Response Fund. The Patch got some financial assistance from that fund, but also they're offering individual assistance. But Corey unfortunately got an email that they are not taking any more applications during the month of May and hope to get back to it in June. So that was kind of sad news, because I was hopeful that a lot of our clients would be able to receive assistance.
Yeah, we
have had a few calls. I had a call today from a person who wanted to write a check and give to help people with utilities. She didn't want to with food, and she wanted to know if she could do that through the Cabbage Patch. So we appreciate that help as well.
Yeah, and just another word about the One Louisville Fund. We received a generous grant from them, so a lot of grant makers supported it. A lot of people in our community have, so we're grateful for that. And there was like 5,600 people who were individuals who were kind of in the queue who've applied. So it's a challenging list, that's for sure, to get through.
And the way that Calvin and I helped a couple clients with that is they don't have printers or PCs in their homes.
Right.
So they would take pictures of their Social Security cards and license and rent letter and email it to us. And then we would put it all together and email it to the neighborhood place. That's where we are right now. So, but we got it to them, and a couple of our clients got some significant help, but it was very interesting.
Any more questions?
I have a money question, surprise. This is the time of year where we traditionally send out the camp letter. And I'm assuming that that's all sort of on hold. Obviously, camp is. Is there a way to transition that letter to something that affects people more individually, that we could do that way? Because I think you've got to keep, no matter what's in the endowment or anything else, we've got to keep it coming in.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good question, Jennifer. I know you have an answer to that.
Well, I have a couple of answers to that for you, Kit. One is, yes, we have pivoted on that and making it a COVID-focused letter instead of camp. We probably won't have camp, but we may have like small group summer things. I'm suspecting that the governor will let us have like groups of 10 or something. So there may be some kind of summer enrichment programs that sort of happen, is my guess. But in the letter, it says there will be something for summer. We just don't make a guarantee of what that's going to look like, because we need more guidance from the governor at this point. Would that be fair, Megan and Corey?
Yes, I think we're going to do everything we can to have some kind of summer programming. Would you say? Because our families and our kids really need it. That's for sure.
They need a break from each other.
Yeah.
Imagine.
And program staff wouldn't mind either.
Right.
Is there something you could send out with instructions for making donations, and both monetarily, and is there any specific items, food related wise, that you want? I mean, is it any food, or are there specific items that are more helpful than others?
I'd be happy to send that out to the group. And we update that weekly on the orange banner at the top of the website that says COVID relief. So that the Family Services gives us an update. If they get like a bunch of peanut butter, then that would come off the list and something more pressing would come on.
So that's on the website that we could get.
It's on the top. When you at the very top, there's an orange banner. It says COVID relief, I think.
And I could show you real quick what that looks like. So let me just show you.
Corey,
yeah, see the top of the screen there? You just click right there for the current update, and then it takes you to what the needs are.
Okay.
Yeah, Jennifer, that was going to be my question as well. Is no one can compete with Walt, obviously. But if we have groups that we can go to, what would you all like to be the first to ask to be for?
Well, Corey and I were just having, this is just like, a loose conversation that we were having. We were just talking about, could we get groups of people to focus on something at different times, and kind of, like you're the peanut butter crew and Walt's the spaghetti sauce crew or something, or so many items.
It's the mask crew.
Yeah, and then we could, figure out how we could get them delivered here and those kinds of things. So,
Well, locally, I mean, it can be a challenge to buy multiple of something in order to donate. That's another issue.
Yeah, right. So, that there could be that. So I think, though, Doug, that list that when you go there addresses food and non-food items.
It does, yes.
Through Dare to Care, they're able to get certain food items very inexpensively. Because if you go through the co-op, you can control what you get versus just, chickpeas donated to you that nobody likes, maybe.
Right.
But there's some things that they never get on there. So like mac and cheese that you don't have to add butter and milk to would be something that they would never, ever have at Dare to Care. So when you go on that list, it'll tell you that, and what those things are.
And we're thinking, and
it's true.
It just kind of depends for folks. I mean, some really want to give something tangible and go buy something, and other people are just, we have on our gives, the give part of the website, on our donor page, we have, a COVID emergency designation that people can give directly there if they want to just make a gift, because then we can get exactly what's needed at the time. But we're gonna continue, Calvin and Doug have consistently said this is going to be a continuing need, food and hygiene items. And so we're going to continue to grow our response. And maybe just like we have monthly financial donors, maybe we can have monthly food and hygiene donors. And maybe we can sort out, like Jennifer said, how to kind of orient that. And maybe there's a particular week that your group or you give, and maybe it's a particular item. So we're going to coordinate that and kind of get that together in the next week or two. And we'll get information out about that.
I'm looking at the people on this call from Second Pres, and none of you all are on the list of people, but at this stage of the game. But my front porch has been functioning as the mission closet for the cabbage. Second Pres, because it's long and it's covered. And some weeks Calvin's been the only person I've laid eyes on. So I am happy to keep receiving those donations on my front porch, and I am happy to deliver them to the Cabbage Patch.
Oh, wonderful.
You're in the hood. Everybody lives there, Kit.
Well, a lot of people do.
I wonder if setting up an Amazon link where people could go on and buy things too, and then they'd be delivered.
Yeah, let's talk to Megan about that.
We have done that. On that same link at the bottom, there is a one-button click that takes you to our Amazon food pantry list. It's also searchable in Amazon. If you search for Cabbage Patch Food Pantry, it pops right up with our list of stuff we want. And again, that focuses on that week-to-week list of what we need. A lot of, canned meat, the deluxe mac and cheese that doesn't require butter. And it is all, I update it about once every week or two with the stuff that the Family Development Program says they need. Our preferences for that are linked to our business site. So if you order something, it won't come on the weekends. We're listed as not receiving on the weekends. If it gives you an option, our preferred days are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to receive those donations. Because Eli Levine, the facility facility manager, is on site and is able to take those and process them, clean them, get them ready to go into the pantry.
Yeah, and just a little plug to remember to use your Amazon Smiles when you log in, and then we get money back for that as well as the goods. So.
Well, and Jennifer,
All right, we've gone a little over time.
We're certainly all using our Kroger cards, so make sure we've got that.
Yeah, link us to the points, absolutely.
It's about the only place I'm going.
Yeah, no kidding.
The liquor store doesn't have a frequent flyer miles like that, I don't think.
It's too
You can now. You can use your Kroger card at the liquor store now. Very exciting.
Well, at Kroger Liquors, yes.
Okay, does anyone have any last burning questions before I, don't make you stay with us all afternoon, although we could probably do that. All right, Corey.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
Yeah, our message is thank you, and thank you for all you've done and continue to do, and for the ways that you share information. And as you continue to think of things that would be great to have information and ways that we can help you share even more easily through the patch, we're glad to do that. So just let one of us know. And just again, just you're an ambassador to what we do and to the families that we serve. And so your role is very important, and it continues to be, especially in times like these that we're in. So thank you for all you're doing, and just ask that you continue to share the emails that you get, the Facebook posts and other kinds of things that you see. We're grateful for all your help. So thank you.
Yeah, it's good to see you all. Thank
Good to see you.
Thank you all.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Bye.